Hello, and welcome to Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Daniel Pineda. We have a great program this week. We have our news stories, community bulletin board, 55 plus news, and part 2 of Valerie Yarn's interview with Kit Norlin from the Arlington Tree Action Group. But first, a social media reminder. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also on Facebook and WERA 96.7 FM. And now on to our first news story for this week. Arlington County's COVID case site has reported the following data as of June 21st. The total case count on that day was 52,417. That's an increase of over 1,000 cases from the previous report. As for vaccinations, we examine Arlington County's vaccination tracker. As of June 22nd, 201,023 Arlingtonians aged 5 and above have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. They show that figure as 88.7% of their estimated eligible population of 226,754 Arlingtonians. 25,731 Arlingtonians remain unvaccinated. Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 5 through 11-year-olds is still available at the following locations. Arlington Mill Community Center, that's located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street, and Walter Reed Community Center, that's located at 2909 16th Street South. Walk-ins for 5 through 11-year-olds are available Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. For more information, consult the Arlington County website. Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News has received a few reports from a variety of statistical organizations. The following information came from Lattice News Wire. The U.S. has long been known for its diversity relative to other nations. For hundreds of years, migration and growth have brought people of countless different backgrounds to the American melting pot. And the U.S. today is only growing more diverse over time and frequently in new ways. Diversity in the population can have a number of definitions or interpretations, which has made it complicated for demographers to measure. Individuals who identify as some kind of racial or ethnic minority have become an increasing share of the population, but people increasingly have multiracial or multi-ethnic identities as well. And within different racial or ethnic categories, birthplace and migration history or ancestry can also affect how people identify and how they experience their identity day to day. At a high level, however, one simple but significant sign of the diversification of the U.S. population is the decreasing share of people who identify as white alone, not Hispanic. This category represented 59.9% of the U.S. population in 2020, down from 64% in 2010 and 78.2% in 1980. In a handful of states, non-Hispanic whites now represent less than half of the population, and demographers anticipate that the U.S. as a whole is likely to become majority-minority sometime in the 2040s. The data used in this analysis is from the U.S. Census Bureau's 2020 American Community Survey. To determine the best locations to move to for diversity, researchers at Filter By calculated a composite index based on equally weighted indices of ethnic racial diversity, birthplace diversity, and economic equality. To improve relevance, only cities with at least 100,000 residents were included. Additionally, cities were grouped into cohorts based on population size. Small, 100,000 to 149,999. Mid-size, 150,000 to 349,999, and large, 350,000 or more. Here is a summary of the data for Arlington, Virginia. Composite Index, 54.09. Ethnic Racial Diversity Index, 58.60. Birthplace Diversity Index, 63.30. Economic Equality Index, 40.37. For reference, here are the statistics for the entire United States. Composite Index, not applicable. Ethnic Racial Diversity Index, 58.69. Birthplace Diversity Index, 56.99. Economic Equality Index, not applicable. For more information, a detailed methodology, and complete results, you can find the original report on FilterBy's website. That's filterby.com/resources/best-cities-2-move-2-4-diversity/. That's the end of the Lattice Newswire's message. A visit to their website does not include Arlington, Virginia in the top 15. The number 113 spot is occupied by Arlington, Texas. In fact, the composite listing for all cities puts Arlington, Virginia in the number 173 spot at the very bottom of the list. As we have pointed out before, Arlington, Virginia doesn't even belong in a list of cities because we are a county, not a city.
For the past few weeks, we have taken some time to highlight some of the other programs that are available on WERA-FM. The station has announced a temporary hiatus from broadcasting pre-recorded programs for the month of June. The radio station is undergoing a conversion process which is intended to improve reliability. Devotees of certain pre-recorded programs have only to wait until July, when their favorite pre-recorded programs are expected to return to their customary time slots. That's enough news for this week. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Our first CBB event is called Roslyn Rocks. Here's their announcement. Join us to welcome back outdoor concerts at Central Place Plaza. On Thursdays, July 7th and 14th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., there will be live music and fun games on the plaza. You can also grab a refreshment at our cash bar, which offers a variety of beer, wine, soda, water, and juice. The event is free and open to the public, so come and enjoy a summer night with music, drinks, and if you're hungry, a meal from one of our Roslyn restaurants for takeout. First up, the Morgan Lindsay Band. Morgan Lindsay's band's sound is a mix of energetic country pop and rock and roll. From the classics to 90s country, today's pop country hits, and a mix of Morgan Lindsay originals, this band will have you singing along and dancing the night away. They are guaranteed to be a welcoming and energizing experience that won't disappoint. That's on Thursday, July 7th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Central Place Plaza, 1800 North Lynn Street. The following week, Roslyn Rocks will return with another band, Blair's West. Blair's West was formed out of love by husband and wife duo Bo and Blair and has grown into one of the top roots rock party bands in the region. Their formative years in Nashville were spent touring the world with country megastars and refining their craft in the honky-tonks of Broadway. The passion they put into playing covers for 8+ hours a day led to unique takes on classic songs and an unmatched energy and crowd interaction. From the Beatles to the Eagles, Bon Jovi to Zac Brown, and Maren Morris to Merle Haggard, They fill the dance floor with their surprising sets of eclectic hits. Get ready to hear hits of every decade, delivered with a touch of Tennessee twang and irresistible enthusiasm. That's on Thursday, July 14th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Central Place Plaza, 1800 North Lynn Street. Next up, the tiger swallowtail butterfly is Virginia's state insect, and there's an event all about it. It's called Butterfly Photography Walk, and it's for families with kids aged 8 and up. After a presentation, attendees will look for this species and other butterflies on a walk along the 4-mile run and W&OD trails. Be sure to bring a camera of your choice. The activity number is 642952-P. That's on Sunday, July 17th from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. at Long Branch Nature Center, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Our next event is for adults, teens, and families with kids aged 8 and up. Do you want to restore habitat and increase species diversity right here in Arlington? Work parties are held every month. You'll be making a real difference with the return of ferns and wildflowers and the animals that depend on them in areas once covered in destructive, invasive plants. You can help make it happen. Meet at the tennis courts at the end of Dickerson Street. The site leader will be Gary Shinners. That's on Sunday, July 10th, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Jamestown Park, 3618 North Dickerson Street. Our final CBB event is called Railroad Submarine, Cody Clark Magic at Luberon Amphitheater. Trains and the ocean? Not a combo that makes sense, right? Well, in Conductor Cody's Railroad Submarine, anything can happen with a bit of magic. Arlington's youngest patrons and their families will lay down tracks under the sea as they explore all the possibilities that lie within the ocean. You'll make friends with the ocean life, ride the currents which keep our trains swimming along, and learn why it's important to keep the ocean clean so that we can enjoy trips like this for years to come. Cody Clark has been performing magic for 16 years, and this show celebrates the skills he's gained in sleight of hand, crafting scripts audiences of all kinds enjoy, and in creating customized shows which reinforce what you feel is most important. He gets to cut loose with the magic in these shows, and he enjoys himself so much that the audience can't help but enjoy themselves too. This show features Cody's acclaimed disabilities advocacy services, which, since 2014, have magically changed people's perspectives on living with disabilities. That's on Sunday, July 10th, from 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock noon at Luberon Amphitheater, 200 North Columbus Street. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. Our first story is called Common Hand Conditions. Michelle Elstein, an occupational therapist for outpatient hand therapy at Virginia Hospital Center, will speak about common disabilities and conditions that affect hand function in older adults, including arthritis, trigger finger, and Dupuytren's contracture. She will address symptoms and treatment of these conditions. That should come in handy. Sorry. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 914-500-15. That's on Wednesday, July 6th from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, health and happiness, a fit home. here's a chance to join Mike Sisson, a fitness guru and virtual personal trainer, as he teaches you fun ways to stay healthy in your home and neighborhood through simple but effective exercises. An exercise demonstration and question and answer session will follow the presentation. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 914-500-22, and that's on Wednesday, July 6th from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. at Arlington Mill Community Center, 909 South Dinwiddie Street. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next 55 plus event is called Understanding Hospice Care. Diana Dixon with Capital Caring will give an overview of hospice care and correct some common misconceptions. You can join in and learn what hospice care looks like today. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 914-500-17, and that's on Thursday, July 7th from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. at Lubber Run Community Center, 200 North Columbus Street. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is kind of simple. It's just called Ways to Save at the Grocery Store, and it's a chance to learn some tips and tricks to save money at the grocery store. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. That's on Thursday, July 7th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Arlington Mill Community Center, 909 South Dinwiddie Street. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our final 55 plus event is called Plant and Cuttin' Swap. You can bring some cuttings or whole plants if you like, and trade with others for plants you don't have yet. Meet new plant friends, learn about new to you plants, and grow your collection. They do ask that you make sure all the cuttings and plants are pest-free and healthy. It's not a bug swap. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 914-401-03. That's on Friday, July 8th from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. at Lubber Run Park, 200 North Columbus Street. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Anyway, that's all I got for 55 plus news.
Arlington Weekly News wants to focus some attention on the controversy of tree canopy. Today we have Kit Norlin. She is a founding member of the Arlington Tree Action Group, which has been advocating for trees since 2016. She is an ATAG delegate to the Civic Federation. Kit trained as a tree steward and serves on the county's Forestry and Natural Resources Commission. She agrees with Congressman Don Beyer and others who see climate change as an existential crisis of our time. Hi, Kit. How are you doing today?
Very well, Valerie. I'm really pleased to be here.
Thanks for being here.
As you know, as recently as this spring, the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has been issuing some very serious reports about the impacts. The World Meteorological Organization is predicting, well, a little bit of what we have today here in Arlington, these triple-digit hot days, and it's only going to increase. In India, it is so hot that birds are literally dropping out of the sky. We can't pretend this isn't happening, and here is one of our strongest allies right in front of us, and we must protect them.
What does sustainability mean?
Well, you know, thanks to you all, I read a very interesting document about sustainability in Arlington. I gather it's almost a quarter of a century old, but it holds so true with some very basic issues. And one of the strongest points, I think, is the need to take a holistic view. You can't just have silos. Okay, I'm doing transport, and I don't know what you're doing on stormwater, and across the board. And there's way too much of that pigeonholing going on. And of course, the elephant in the room is the extent to which we are paving and building across what used to be habitat. In 2018, the county itself, at the urging of a board member, found that there is an upward trend in impervious surface from an estimate of 40% in 2001 up to 45% in 2017, which is already 5 very busy laying of impervious surface years ago. So it's creeping up. It is utterly unsustainable. And it contributes to, of course, urban heat island effect, which affects everybody, and especially in neighborhoods that were redlined. There's a vicious cycle. The more you tear down the trees, the more urban heat island there is, and the more it affects the health and energy use of people. So the holistic view is vital in sustainability. Another one that is easy to forget is to take the long view. What is this decision we make today or next month or even next year? What are the long-term effects? Valerie, I had a chance to just recently finish the Book of Hope, which is a series of interviews with Jane Goodall, who is an ambassador of nature, and it's called The Survival Guide for Trying Times. And on this issue, she says, when making decisions, people ask, will it help me or my family now, or the next shareholders meeting, or my next election campaign? The hallmark of wisdom is asking, what effects will the decision I make today have on future generations, on the health of the planet? We are living in an age where bigger still seems to be better, and in the face of the climate crisis, we have to wean ourselves off this excessive use. There are some good signs of reusing and recycling. I'll tell you honestly, this afternoon I put our laundry out on a rack in the backyard, and the sun dried it so quickly, because the dryer is one of the biggest uses of electricity. And here too, Dr. Goodall says that we have to do better, but plant life is human life. If people don't stop to realize, if you take away all the plant life,
there's no humans, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And she finds that stories reach the heart better than any facts or figures. So we need to look at resource use, and then I like the fourth component of the sustainability paper, which is to slow down and think about how you gain meaning from contributing to your community. I think Dr. Goodall is a very big proponent of that, and I couldn't agree more.
Oh, absolutely. And what do you think is the one thing that Arlington should do to be sustainable? The one thing.
Well, I guess I hate to be a little bit of a one-note Jane here, but we have to treasure our trees and our canopy. We're in a strange situation where ATAG has been urging the county for a couple of years now to update the tree canopy, because as the U.S. Forest Service and many others know, you can't manage what you don't measure, what you can't measure. And for some reason, the county has been staving off, we now have 6-year-old data that, on which they are actually still proceeding with a new forestry and natural resource plan. It doesn't make any sense, and it tells me that we are not treasuring our trees and canopy if we're not even spending the time to figure out where we're at. Why aren't leaders using the bully pulpit? And we're not a poor county. We could be spending a little bit more money on planting and pruning and maintaining. In a drought a couple years ago, they said they couldn't find pennies to water some public trees. So we all have to work to protect the county, the canopy from bottom up and top down. And I would like to just end our precious time here with a quote. As you know, Greta Thunberg is a young Danish woman, I believe, or still a teenager perhaps, who is trying to raise awareness. And she spoke to the World Economic Forum recently, and she said, adults keep saying we owe it to young people to give them hope. But I don't want your hope. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want us to feel the fear I feel every day. And then I want you to act. I want you to act as you would in a crisis. To which Jane Goodall says, we do need to respond with fear and anger about what is happening. Our house is on fire, but if we don't have hope that we can put the fire out, we will give up. It's not hope or fear or anger. We need them all.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kit. That was a great way to end the interview, and thank you so much for coming
It's
to
my
Arlington
pleasure.
Weekly News.
Thank
We
you
appreciate
for
it.
raising this issue. Really appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
The following is a demonstration of the cooling properties of mature trees. The location is the East Falls Church Park in Arlington. A digital thermometer placed in the center of a grassy area indicated a temperature of 94 degrees Fahrenheit. The thermometer was then moved less than 50 yards away to a shaded area near the base of the hill known as Brandymore Castle. In a matter of minutes, the thermometer displayed a gradual reduction in temperature down to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. The 12-degree temperature differential also produced a mild breeze, which can be experienced by anyone walking in the area. This is the effect that a group of mature trees has on temperature.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Valerie, for being here
Yes.
and helping us out. You're welcome back anytime. We always need the help.
Absolutely, I'll
Come
be
on,
back.
come
Don't you
on
worry,
back.
Craig. I'll be back. Thank
Appreciate
you for having
being
me.
here. Thanks so much. And that's it for this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Stay well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.